What is happening, guys? Gary Jahman here, back at it again with a new video. Hope you're doing well, hope you're safe and happy. So in this video we're going to talk about the Sony 50mm f1.2 GM lens or G Master lens. And of course this is a very expensive lens. Here in the Netherlands it will set you back with 2,200 euros. And I think for US as well, US dollars, roughly the same, at least above that 2,000 line, right? This limit of the 2,000 euros or US dollars. So quite a lot of money for this lens. The question here is it worth it? Yes or no? So let's find out in this video. First of all, as always, I'm going to divide this video in several sections. The first section will be all about the build quality. As I mentioned, it is a GM or Grandmaster or G Master lens. I'm not even sure what it stands for, but anyways, this is the top of the line Sony lens. You know what to expect, right? It is top notch. It's up there, the highest level of quality that you can expect of a Sony lens. And this is also what you feel directly once you have it in your hands. And the feeling that you get when you have it in your hands, you just feel that it is made of something of premium materials. The feeling of it and how it just looks, it just feels premium. It just screams premium all the way out, right? So now attached to the camera itself, it looks really good as well. I'm going to show you the specs here on the screen with the weight and everything, and I think the filter thread is 72 millimeters. I'm not sure, but everything is here on the screen, also the weight. And yes, this is a huge and heavy lens. It is quite enormous, and I think that for people that are used to smaller prime lenses, this will feel definitely like a very heavy lens, especially for wedding photographers. I think this matches closely in terms of weight to a 70 to 200 type of lens. But if you're not used to that, you know, you will feel it maybe on your neck strap maybe, or even if you hold it in your hands all the time, you will definitely feel this heavy lens. So I think, I'm not sure for everyone, but for most photographers, I think it might be a little bit too heavy. And this might be something that you would use in production work, you know, so in studios and stuff like that. So really, you have to be very mindful and purposeful what you want to do with this lens. But in general, guys, the build quality is just amazing. It feels good. The focus ring feels good. The aperture ring that is clickable or declickable with the switches and buttons, everything just feels really premium. The only thing that I don't really like, except for the weight and the size, is the lens hood. Bigger than it should be, but you know, it protects the lens and also it reduces flaring and all that type of stuff. The front element is quite huge as well, and at the back we do have the weather sealing gasket, of course. And overall, guys, build quality is just, as I mentioned, top notch, highest level, so definitely a 10 out of 10. Now, with the boring stuff out of the way, we can talk more about the more interesting stuff, and that is the image quality for both photo and video. For photo, I have to say, guys, you know, definitely a 10 out of 10 straight out of the gate. But what I really also found when we're testing a lot of lenses, right, and you have a bunch of lenses, you know, you do see some kind of like trend with every brand, I would say. In my case, I use a lot of Tamron lenses, and Tamron is usually a little bit warmer. And using Sony lenses, they're a little bit cooler, I would say. But in this case, the Sony 50mm f1.2 GM lens, this is just perfectly fine. Like, it directly hits the white balance correctly, and adjusting photos is really, really a breeze, right? Really easy, straight out of camera, as you see here. It looks already pretty good, right? Just a minor adjustment and it looks very natural. And I think this is something that I really appreciate from this lens, from the 50mm f1.2, is that colors and the I would say how it is rendered, it just looks really good straight out of camera already. So the editing process, especially for us pro photographers, but also for amateur photographers or enthusiasts, is that the right word? I'm not sure. But anyways, for all people that are using this lens, if they are willing to afford this type of lens or this money, or willing to spend this type of money, then the editing process is really, really easy and really enjoyable. So in overall, the experience of this lens, not only taking photos but also editing the photos, it is truly amazing. But do keep in mind, I do had this lens for a limited time of using this. Also here in the Netherlands, the weather was just terrible. We got storm and thing like windy conditions, rainy conditions. So the shots that I have here are just very like almost basic, I would say, and also indoors. But I tried my best to get the best out of this lens. So here is a product shot, and it already looks majestic, I would say. And also here some shots from a party where my nephew was the DJ, and he asked me, could you just like come over and take some photos? I was like, yeah, sure, why not? So I did that. Exactly, but then with the 50mm f1.2. Now, in terms of video quality, it is really the same. It really looks good straight out of the gate. And as you see here, it just looks awesome. I don't have any real issues with it. And let me know what you think about it in the comment section down below for both photo and video. In the meantime, I'm gonna talk to you about the autofocus performance. And as you see here, this is just a quick little test. If you buy a Sony lens in general, the autofocus is really good, except for the 50mm f1.8, the cheapest one. That one is just, this is the only Sony lens, Sony branded lens that isn't really good in autofocus. But this one, it is fast, it is snappy and very reliable. So autofocus wise, it is truly amazing as well. So yeah, I think we come to the conclusion, right? Like, is it worth your money? Is it a good lens? I would say this is a very good lens. If you're looking for a 50mm, of course, f1.2 will get you that dreamy bokeh shots, that dreamy background blur, very creamy, very delicious, I would say. But do you really need it? It really depends on you. Are you willing to spend that type of money for this lens? It really depends on your own budget. But I think if you are a professional photographer and you do a lot of studio work, then this comes in highly recommended. Also for wedding photographers as well, to get that dreamy shot, you know, this is really, really a nice lens to get. So yeah, I think that's about it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. If you got any questions, let me know in the comment section down below. As always, stay safe, stay happy, and I'll see you in the next one. Good luck.